I will firstly speak a bit about Facebook ads, rather basic Facebook advertising. And then in the second part, we will do a little bit of a recap, time for your questions, also more general questions about social media, your strategies and all these kind of things. We do that in the second part. The first part is we will be talking about Facebook advertising. Okay, so wonderful. So let me share the screen once again. Okay, so what's Facebook advertising? Then maybe a very big question for you, do I need to advertise on social media? So when we speak of advertising, that refers to paid advertising. So you're paying the social media platform and they advertise your post and so forth. What types of Facebook advertising are there? What would be reasons for running your Facebook ads? Then maybe, I guess, another big question for you, can I do that by myself or do I need to hire someone? What's the budget? Also quite important. And as always, we want to talk about practical steps that you can take to move forward, and what happens if you would need help. Okay. So what is Facebook advertising? Very basic. Facebook advertising basically is a form of online advertisement. So online, and you advertise something, and it's created and published on the Facebook platform. So if you choose to do or to have in Facebook advertising, no one's gonna see it other than the people who are on the Facebook platform. Okay, so it is only for Facebook, unless you have your Facebook connected with your Instagram. You can set that up, then you can parallel run the same advertising on Facebook and Instagram. Remember, Facebook and Instagram are both owned by Meta, so which is a big benefit in that sense. So you can actually run your advertising simultaneously on Facebook and on Instagram. It's a form of a displayed ad. Again, can only be seen by Facebook's users. And the way to know what's actually in Facebook ad is, so I took a screenshot of one who I'm following. I like what he's doing. And you can see here, I underlined it in red. It says sponsored right underneath the headline. That means this is a paid advertising. So this Michael Beaker from the Life Awareness Project paid so that I can see his post. And I know that because it says sponsored. So if you were to run an ad, it would say sponsored. And I like it because it's quite subtle. So it's not like a Facebook ad in your face. It's not disturbing. You just know that it's an advertising because it says sponsored, but it's subtle. So big benefit in Facebook advertising. Why? There's many benefits, to be honest, but for me, the biggest one is that it's really targeted. That's why it's somewhat complex. It's not complicated, but it does require some time, some thinking, some research to set it up properly. You can set up who will see your advertising. And you do that because Facebook has a lot of information about the users. So for example, I am following several pages that are about breathing and mindfulness and coaching. So I will see advertising from other people who advertise something in this field. Because when I like a page, I tell Facebook, what am I interested in? Okay, so Facebook has a lot of information. So now some people might say, I don't really like that Facebook is collecting all this information about me, but that's how Facebook and social media works. If someone doesn't like that, the person should probably not use social media. So it's a matter of fact, social media saves information. Our behavior, what am I liking, where am I commenting, who am I following, all this is a pool of information that Facebook saves. So, but in a marketing way, we can use that because it means that I can very specifically select who will see my paid advertising. So to give you an example, when I run Facebook ads, I think I've mentioned that before. What I like to do, because I'm teaching Reiki, for example. So what I sometimes do, many students just come organically, but what I sometimes do is that I have this free introduction to Reiki workshops. It's like a 60 to 90-minute thing, very basic information about Reiki. So it's free. And that's something I run Facebook ads for. So I can choose, I want this Facebook ads to be shown to people who have shown interest in Reiki, in meditation, in mindfulness, in yoga, all these kind of things. So people who I know very likely are going to be interested in Reiki. So then that's the group, my target group I'm advertising to, and then they can sign up for free and join this free workshop. And that's actually how I've got quite a good number of students. But we will speak about it in a bit more detail. But just to give you an example of this big benefit of Facebook advertising, where I can choose the target group. So the money that I'm spending is spent wisely if I take the time to set it up properly, because I'm not going to be advertising my Reiki class or my Reiki workshop to people who are just absolutely not interested in that. I would just literally throw out my money. Yes, Karen. You're muted, 1 second.
I know, but you muted me. So I have a question about the target. I understand Facebook targeting, and I did it quite a while ago, and it sounds like it has more information. If we were marketing ourselves as general release trauma experts, practitioners, what would be some of the places we would look to create our group? I mean, just trauma, people that are interested in trauma, or would it be something like people who have been attacked or following groups about depression?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that if you really want to do it properly, you have different target groups set up in your meta. So maybe if you were to advertise a freebie, like a free ebook, and the ebook is about what is trauma. Then you can advertise it. For example, yes, people who have shown interest in trauma. What I would add as well is mental health in general, well-being, and yeah, you have to do a bit of a research. Facebook makes that fairly easy for you. You can type in different keywords, and then you immediately see how big would that group be. So it would require a little bit of, sometimes it does need some, experimenting, what kind of target groups works best, but that is one way. If you advertise to a cold audience. Okay, I want to go into that in a bit more detail. I just don't want to jump too far ahead. It changes when you advertise to a warm audience. So people who already are following you, who already are on your email list, for example, that changes the strategy a little bit. But I would like to, if I forget, please remind me, Taryn. I speak about that in a bit more detail later. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but yes, you can set all that up very easily. Okay, perfect. Okay, are there any other questions regarding what Facebook ad is and the target, the big benefit of being able to target specific groups of people? Okay, wonderful. We really keep it very simple for now, and we go into more depth and specifics later. So one thing that we can do, it's just not really, really recommend it because the outcome might not be really great, is Facebook gives you the option to boost a post. So this is a screenshot of one of my posts on my business page. And you have on your business page this blue button here in the right corner that says boost post. So what that means, it's basically a tiny little, I don't want to say wannabe advertising because it is kind of like an advertising, but the reach is very limited. So basically what it does is, for example, it even says here, oops, I have to move your, so now, boost this post to reach up to 240 more people if you spend 14 euros. So I could pay 14 euros now, and 240 more people would see this post. So if you wanted to increase the visibility of your posts, to maybe get more likes or to just, have more people see what you're posting, you could do that totally. The question here is, what are you ultimately getting from it? Like what's ultimately going to be the benefit here for you? To have a few more people seeing it, to get 3 more likes, what does that really give you? So you can do it at the beginning a few times if you feel like, okay, I want to push it, I want to maybe get more page followers, but there's also a better strategy for that actually. So in general, just to keep it simple, I recommend you just don't do it, save your money with that. And if you wanted to do advertising, do it properly. Just my personal recommendation, you will get much better results if you just set up a specific, detailed, goal-oriented campaign with Facebook advertising, and save that money for boosting your posts. So it sounds like a good idea. We can think, oh, cool, boosting posts and more people see it. And it's not so expensive. It's just 14 euros or I don't know, but it's not going to do you a lot. So yeah, my recommendation, don't do that. Okay. Different types. Let's just briefly take a look at the different types. How can we actually, or what kind of posts or formats can we advertise on Facebook? Very common is just a single image. So something that you would already post anyways, a nice design, a nice image, maybe it has some text, or it's a design that you specifically create for your Facebook advertising. Let me briefly show you something. I'm gonna stop here. I just wanna show you something that has been really successful for me. Okay, here it is. Okay, sharing again. So I am opening this now on Instagram, but it's the same image that I used for my Facebook advertising. So for example, this is a design that I made for the free Reiki workshop. Introduction to Reiki, Thursday, 8 p.m. via Zoom. So that's actually the image that I used for Facebook advertising. So that's an example for a single image that is used for an advertising. So we're not going too much into the design parts. There will be another workshop about that. But a few things already. It is nice if it has some text that's easily readable. We don't want to overwhelm it with text because remember, people scroll through social media rather fast. So it has to be very clear what's that about. So what's that about? What I want them to catch their attention first is it's free and it's a Reiki workshop. These are the important things I want them to see right away. Okay, so just for you, one example, that is an example for a single image advertising. And then, of course, I have all the copy here with all the specifics and details. Okay. What you could also do is have a carousel. Remember, carousel is if you have several images in a line. So people scroll to the right and you have either a little story, which for advertising, I mean, it really depends on what you're advertising. It can be a good idea for services or if you were to sell products. For example, which is not our case, if we're selling shoes, we could have a carousel with the different kind of shoes we're selling. So that would be one example, but it could also be for maybe a workshop or a training series or something like that. There's the option to have an advertising that's called collection, which is somewhat similar to the carousel. It just means you have a primary image or video and then 3 smaller ones accompanying it. Or you use a video as an advertising. So important if you were to use a video is, again, it has to catch the attention in the first 2-3 seconds or people are not going to watch it. So it's a bit more tricky in that sense. I so far have only used the single images in advertising, and for me that works great. So I don't really make things more complicated than they have to be. So if you wanted to run a Facebook ad, easiest thing to set up is start with a single image. Okay. So why would you want to run Facebook advertising? There's different reasons. And you can, depending on what your goal is with the Facebook ad, there can be a variety of different goals. Depending on the goal, there's different strategies and different campaigns. So that gets a bit complex, so we're not going too much into that. But for example, maybe you wanted to increase the number of your followers, of your audience on your business page, because maybe you say, I want to have more credibility. So I simply run an advertising to have more followers of my page, would be one reason. I personally have never been too concerned about that. And I feel it's slightly different if you're like a one-person business, or for example, the Gentle Trauma Release Institute. It's good as an academy, as an institute, if we have many followers on our business page. That would be quite important for reputation, credibility. As a one business owner, it's also good, of course, to have many followers, but maybe not as important. Okay, but that would be one reason. Maybe you want to build your email list. I believe that having an email list is pretty good still, because we can directly communicate with people who are interested in what we're doing. When we're solely depend on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it's someone else's platform. And ultimately, they can do what they want. If they choose to not show your posts to anyone, they can do that. If they choose to delete accounts, they could do that. So it's someone else's company and they make money with it. So they can choose what they want to do. So we can use that for us, of course, for our purposes, but it's always there's always this risk. What are they going to do next? So if you have an email list from potential clients, you can directly contact them if you wanted to. So there is no risk. So that's why I think building an email list is still a very good idea. You can do that through Facebook advertising. For example, you advertise a little freebie where they sign up with their email address and you have the email address. Would be one option. Of course, there's Facebook advertising to drive traffic to your website or to your blog. And as I already mentioned, to promote an event, free event, a workbook, an ebook, or even a paid event. All that could be potential reasons. And of course, getting paying clients eventually. But it really depends on which route you want to take for your business in general. Do you want to focus on one-on-one work? Do you want to focus on online programs, groups? So there's that. Okay. Are there any questions regarding what I mentioned so far, or it makes all sense? Yeah? Okay. One rule of thumb to keep in mind is, I spoke about cold and warm audience a while ago. We want to start with advertising something free to a cold audience. Little reminder, cold audience means they don't know who you are. They have probably never heard your name. They might have never seen you. They don't know what you're doing. Okay, so they don't know you, you don't know them. That's what we consider to be a cold audience. We would not promote or advertise something paid to a cold audience. I mean, just ask yourself, would you very likely spend money on a service or something about someone who you have absolutely no idea who that is, especially online? There is so much stuff going on that, I mean, I personally wouldn't spend money on something if I don't know who is the person. So a general rule of thumb, and then I come to you, Taryn, in a moment, is we start to promote something that is free to a cold audience. For example, I promoted my free Reiki workshop to people who didn't know me yet, but they were interested in Reiki, in energy work, in yoga, in meditation, but they didn't really know me yet. But because it's free, they signed up and they felt like, well, there is no risk in signing up. So obviously not everyone who signed up showed up, but a lot actually did show up. So now, remember from the last workshops that we want to build the know, trust, like factor. Now that they signed up for something free, ebook, workshop, video class, something, and they start to know you. They're like, okay, that's Kathy, that's Charlene, that's Donna, that's Taryn. That's what she stands for. That's what she's doing. That's her philosophy. That's her values. So I start to know her. I start to trust her. I start to like what she's doing. I follow her posts. So now they turn into a warm audience because they know what you do and who you are. Now, again, with Facebook advertising, we can now set up to make a new advertising that only your warm audience will see. And that could be something paid, a group program, a paid book, paid sessions, something like this. So that's a very simple, simplified, but true rule of thumb to make sure you're not just throwing money out the window by advertising something paid to someone who doesn't even know you yet. Yes, Taryn.
Okay, so my question is about what you were just talking about. And the question is based on the fact that Facebook and Instagram are connected, right? So I have a Facebook, I have an Instagram page, and I'm advertising on it, and I've got 7,000 people that like me and are following me. Would you say that those are people that know me? Because I haven't gotten them into an email list yet. But am I with them? Am I at the building no trust like factor, or am I still at the cold place?
No, the moment they are followers, I would put them in the category of starting to be a warm audience. So of course it's 7,000. You don't know. I mean, one way would be how many likes more or less do you get on your post. So because some people, and I told you, please don't do that. Please don't pay for followers.
Right.
Because what could happen is that someone has 10,000 followers, but I only get 5 likes on my posts, which literally means they don't care about you at all. So they wouldn't be a warm audience.
Okay.
But not all of your followers will be a warm audience, because some
are just men.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Taryn. I think there was a delay.
No, so my second question about that is, if I'm doing it in Instagram, does that mean an advertisement on Facebook would be seen by that group?
You can set that up, yes.
How would you do that? I mean, I mean, is it like when I'm looking at the advertising on Facebook, do I look for Instagram followers as an option? My Instagram followers? How do I
No,
connect them?
you would want to run it on Facebook. Why would you not want to run it on Instagram?
I would.
Ah, exactly.
I'm just wondering how would they see it in Facebook? Or are they just seeing it on Instagram?
Well, they would. Okay, yeah, that's a bit more into the details,
Okay.
into the specifics, but it is possible. You can use them as part of your target group.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we will speak about more specific things. But yeah, let's try to keep for now the basics.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just
So back to the Instagram and Facebook. So Facebook is one thing, Instagram's another thing, but they are linked together because it's the same company, let's say, company that runs both. So you would have to set up, which you have, an Instagram account, but you have to ask for followers. It's like they have to follow you. So it's a little bit different. So it's like setting another address up. So it's another address for your, so you can't link the followers from Instagram and Facebook. So it's totally separate, even though it's the same company. So you could go to your Facebook followers and ask them to follow you on your Instagram if you want to bring over those followers. Is that correct, Janina?
You could do that, yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Get more followers that way, just ask to be followed.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Janina, what about all the hashtags that one could use? You showed us how we could hashtag something in Instagram, find followers. Can't we, you said it's not used as much in Facebook, but could it be used anyway? No? Okay.
No, not really. Facebook doesn't really work with the hashtags. I mean, sometimes you see posts on Facebook and they have some hashtags,
Yeah.
which normally is just the person, because when you post on Instagram, there's a little toggle that you can activate that says automatically post to my Facebook page. So because you do have the hashtags in Instagram, it just takes everything you wrote down for your Instagram post and just posts the same thing on on Facebook. So that's why sometimes you see the hashtags on Facebook, but it doesn't really do anything. And that's why the reason why I don't do that, because when I post on Facebook, I don't want it to have hashtags, because for me that just feels wrong, because that doesn't work like that on Facebook. So yeah, but that's the reason why sometimes you would see hashtags on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And regarding what Taryn just said, which is a really, really important and good question, which was one of my main goals to help you with through this entire social media series. What kind of social media platform should I even use? Like, what is even best? And the thing is, there is not the one answer. So feel free to rewatch the first ones where we spoke about demographics, what kind of audience is where, but even there is not 100% proof. It's really somewhat of an experiment in that sense, to see my kind of posting, my message that I have, where does it get the best feedback? And 100% knowing upfront is challenging, but yes, Facebook, Instagram, maybe TikTok, LinkedIn are like the big runners. So we want to start there. Yes, Taryn.
Do you think when looking at all these things that you're talking about, do you think, I'm in the association world, and so I know that so many people go to an event and so many people read a white paper, and certain people want to be on a webinar, and some people want to be in a live classroom. When you look at these social media pages, because I'm in TikTok and Instagram right now, TikTok, I have about 600 followers on the same topic, while in Instagram, I have 6,000. And I guess my question is, when you're looking at how you want to market yourself, is each platform a different way of presenting? Like, is Facebook more sharing a story or writing, whereas Instagram is more quick and fast, and this is what you need to know, and this is how it feels, and this is what you want to know about, whereas TikTok is more like a resource providing information. And then LinkedIn, I haven't figured out LinkedIn yet, but I mean, I use LinkedIn all the time, but I haven't figured it out for this business. But do you think it's looking at your marketing and saying, okay, I have an article I want to offer that's best on Facebook. I have a tip I want to offer that's better on Instagram. Is that what you think? Is that what you're
Yes.
thinking?
I
Okay.
do think so. I also spoke about that in the past workshops, as in what's the mentality more or less of the different users of the different platforms. Again, there's not a 100%
I remember I saw that.
rule.
Yeah.
But yes, there is a trend. For example, in TikTok, it's a lot about entertainment. Whilst well, in Instagram, you really, that's why I love it just so much. You do kind of find everything. You do find profiles that are a lot about entertainment. You find some that are more serious, more professional, more clean. So you really find everything. But yes, there is definitely a tendency of audience as in, and what do they best respond to? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We do, before we have more of the more general questions, let's just finish up on the Facebook advertising. There's a couple of more things that I wanted to talk about. Can I run my Facebook ads by myself? Okay, big question. So the answer is yes, but you can absolutely do it by yourself. If you wanted that, but it's gonna take some time to understand how it works. So Isabella and I, we took a very extended training, very extended, many hours, very in depth. I had to watch some videos 5 times to actually understand what this guy is explaining. He's explaining it very well, but that's what I mean. It is somewhat complex. And we don't want to throw our money out the window, right? So it is extremely effective, Facebook advertising, but we need to know how. And there's tiny little tweaks that we need when we set it up to really make sure that the right audience, the right timing, the right design, and all these kind of little details. So if you feel I like doing this research and learning and maybe doing a few test runs, and I don't mind if the first one is not so successful because I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to have the learning curve. If you feel, yes, I like that, then absolutely. If you're more like, nah, better not, then I would recommend get someone who's doing it for you. Or maybe get some sessions with someone who's teaching it to you, and then you can do it by yourself. It's another option, right? So yeah, it really depends. So I feel, I mean, I am somewhat techie, but I'm definitely not the most techie person out there, but I can learn. I know that if I set my mind to something, I can learn. So I felt, okay, I can learn how to do it. And I did, and I can just say now when I run Facebook ads, they're really successful. They work. I use a rather small budget and my outcome is really good. But it was many hours of learning and practicing. But I don't mind. I like learning these kind of things. So yeah, I guess that would be my answer to the question, can I do it myself or not? You can. But if you want it to work, it's going to require some time of learning. And that brings us to the next question, I think, the budget. Yes. So the higher the budget, the bigger the audience. Obviously, the more you pay, the more people will see it. That's one way of Facebook or for Facebook to make money. But you can start with something like $10 a day. So again, the better it's set up, the more details you give to Facebook, the more specific you set everything up, the better your design of the image that you use. It's so important. The copy, the headline, like it's really in the small details. if you take the time to really think it through, to set it up, you do not need a big budget, but of course, the budget also depends on what's my goal. Like, again, if I do my Facebook ads for my free Reiki workshop, I don't need 10,000 people to sign up for that. There is companies who maybe want a response of 10,000 people. Then yeah, they do have a different budget and they run it for months and they spend $600 a day. That's not my goal. I am happy if I get 200 people signing up and 30 showing up for my free workshop. For me, that's perfect because from these 30s, 10 will become my students. Wonderful. So I usually I let it run for 6-7 days prior to the workshop, $10 a day. So I spend like $60, $70 maybe. I get 300 people signing up, 30 showing up, 10 becoming students. So if you consider that 10 people paying my training, I spend 60, that's an amazing outcome. Okay, so again, your budget depends on what's my goal. And you can, the better you set it up as well, the less you have to invest. I hope that makes sense. But I hope that helps to get an idea that it doesn't have to be super expensive. Before I learned how to do it, I felt like, oh my gosh, if I do Facebook ads, that's what, like $500, $600, $800 every month, just like this. No, doesn't have to be. Depends on your goal. What do you want to achieve? Okay, and yeah, there's that. Practical steps. Yeah, we will talk about that together now in a group. So that was very basic. I think what I wanted mainly to share with you is the idea of, do I need Facebook ads? Do I want Facebook ads? I didn't want to advertise on Facebook for a long time because I thought, similar as social media in general, I thought, oh, that's kind of like, like, I don't know if it's sleazy and this like selling thing, and I want everything to be totally organic. And I still believe that organic is the way to go, as in the most powerful advertising is mouth to mouth. Happy clients who recommend us. I still think this is number one marketing. But especially things like workshops that you're hosting, increasing your audience, spreading the word about something you have created, an ebook, a workbook. Why wouldn't we use it? And we can use it and still, be true to ourselves, still stick to our values. It doesn't have to be sleazy. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable. So I think it's a great tool to have. But we should have a mindset of, why would I do it? And that is not gonna make my business successful, especially in our area, because our business is connection, coaching, healing, therapy. Okay, so that's the essence of our business. So I still think organic is great, probably most important. But why not using amazing tools that we have with social media to push in a direction very gently? So that's my experience. But yeah, I thought Facebook ads, no, that's nothing for me. But yeah, it works great. I met amazing people. I got amazing students signing up, and yeah. How does that sound? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm just happy for you, Janina. That's so awesome. That's wonderful. And yeah, you explained it so well. Like, organic audience, word of mouth really is the best type of how you get your clients. But I feel the way you were feeling before. Oh my God, put myself out there. But it does work. It does work.
Yeah.
So it's just feeling comfortable when you feel ready and you feel comfortable doing it. So It's just, I think the whole message here, what I'm feeling is just easing into it, just what feels right for us, and to ease into it. Because I know, Taryn, you have no problem jumping in, you know, and you, Donna, like we like to ease into things, and you as well, Charlene. I don't know, yeah, ease. So Taryn, like, that's amazing. You've got all these followers, and I could see why. So
And it's not me. It's the story that we have to share and what people can have. It really is. I didn't do anything fancy. It's just me sitting in a chair talking to the camera. That's it. And
that's
I'm
beautiful.
just talking about my story, and I'm talking about gentle trauma release. That's it.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And
It's
now,
the
but
Yanina thing.
now I'm learning things new and want to improve them. You know, there's nothing wrong with getting started without knowing. I mean, just try it out and see what you do and have fun with it. That's what I did.
Yeah, just ease into it, and it's going back to showing our audience or the people who we really are. Like, you know, that word, our authentic selves. I know it's used so many times, but really being authentic and real. And your story has touched so many people, and we all have a story. So it's just that comfort. It's getting out there and just saying yes, right? Saying yes. Yeah.
Yep.
And one thing, and then we go to Charlene. I think it's really important to remember that nothing is written in stone. Like if I were to make a post and then for some reason a few hours later I feel uncomfortable about it, I delete it. Nothing happened. A few people might have seen it. So what?
Right.
They forgot 3 minutes later about it. So I feel that's kind of like nice backup to know I can delete it. Another thing, a very brief story I want to tell you. I do have a YouTube channel, which a few videos have been, blowing up for me. I mean, it's tiny, but out of a sudden I got like 3,500 views on a video. And I was like, whoa. The interesting thing is, it's a video I wanted to delete because I thought I look not good. The lighting is bad. I look too tired. I'm like, I'm not a good representation because I don't look good and stuff. So super self-critical, you know? So I was like, yeah, I think I should take that video down. And then I was like, whatever, no one's going to see it anyway. So I just leave it there. And then a few months later, I opened it and I'm like, what happened? From like 14 views, 3,500 people commenting. I have like, I don't know how many comments. Thank you so much for this video. This was so helpful. Oh, thank you so much. And I'm like, what happened here? I wanted to delete that because I thought I looked terrible. So
Wonderful.
That's for me, it's just, you don't know the power of what you're putting out there. It might take a while. It might take a few months. Maybe no one sees it. So what? But maybe someone sees it and it's exactly what helped them in that moment. And you didn't even consider that. So that experience for me was like, wow, okay, I'm not going to care anymore how I look. Because that's not what it's about. The message resonates with them or it doesn't. In either way, it's no problem. I mean, if it doesn't resonate, so what? But maybe it does. This story for me was like, and most ridiculous, I wanted to delete it because I didn't look good. So yeah.
That's wonderful. Good for you, Yanina. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and I feel these stories are really encouraging to again, it's not written in stone. You can delete it if you don't like it. But just leave it there, because if someone doesn't like it, nothing happens. But maybe someone who really needs to hear and to read that will read it, will see it, and you made the day of someone else. And that's the beauty in it. That's how we can really use it for us and ultimately for others. Because that's how we can reach out to others, support others who otherwise wouldn't know about you. And yeah, so yeah.
Good for you.
Okay, now let's do a bit more of a Q&A.
You forgot Charlene.
Yeah, oh, sorry, thank you. Yes, Charlene.
Thank you, Taryn. Probably would have come back. I keep on thinking that this has been, or this experience, whether it be the initial coaching and then the gentle trauma release, I didn't sign up for all of this aspect. I know other people may have had this in the background. So a part of this is the searching part. Do I really want to go out there? Do I want to be known? How do I want to be known? And as Kathy was saying, yeah, I'm about gentle. I'm not about plunging in, because that's a lot of work. And right now I need to feel where I want to be. Like, does the shoe fit? Is it too big this way? Is it too small the other way? As I'm even thinking to say something, a lot of this is like the M&M candies. Some people like the red shell, some people like the brown shell, some people like the green, some people like the blue, some people like the handful. Yeah, see? So the thing is, okay, wait a minute, I want to do the red. So me, Instagram. Let me start with Instagram. That's easy. Okay, do I want a lot of followers? It really doesn't matter to me right now. If I do, then you're showing us how we can tweak it. Facebook, I'm not really interested in. Honestly, I'm just not. But the thing is, Instagram may be my go-to. And what I'm going to have to do is go back and look at the presentations you've made, suss out other people who have done various things, and then begin to put it together. And I like what you say. You didn't start this yesterday. You've been doing this and doing this and doing this. Yes, it works. No, it doesn't work. Let me try this. Let me try that. Some of us I know have come here thinking, oh, we got to do this yesterday.
Yeah.
No, it's take time. Parent, take time. You got your 6,000 on one, you got your 600 on the other. You know, it's going to grow. And that's the other thing, is to just trust. As we learn, we see, we hear, we know differently. So then we add that. Then something else opens, and then we add that. And before you know it, you got 2,000, 200,000 followers or whatever. And as you say, it's like the Reiki thing. You're happy. Okay, it goes out to 1,000. You might get 30. And then out of that, you get 10. That's how it works. All of us think, oh, we go out with what, 10,000, we're going to get 10,000. We wouldn't be able to manage the 10,000. So
You're
the
right.
thing is, manage the 10, and then the 10 have another 10 who have another 10. And it's like the spider's web. It just kind of goes out there. So my thing is, okay, let me be patient. Let me see what works. What am I hearing? Where does the penny drop? And then I'll go from there. And just take it a little bit at a time and see what's what. And let me just do a quick insert. I like Donna's microsite. So, you know, that's like really cool, calm, and
Gorgeous.
just really inviting. But again,
Beautiful.
it's when you put yourself out, what are they coming back to see? Do they really want to work with you? Do they feel? And a lot of this is about feeling. It's not even so much about what you got there. It's like, do they feel that person? And I guess it's a lot about authenticity. So who are you? So, you know, I just take it a little bit at a time, and I'm not fussed. Honestly, I'm not. I will get there and start reposting or not reposting, start adding things to my Instagram account and building it gradually. So those are my 2 cents for today.
Beautiful.
That's
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, Kathy.
This is a question. My name for Instagram, so I have my personal, which is Kathy M8888. So I would like to do, my business is Enlighten You, empowerment coaching, but for me, it's the gentle trauma release method that has just made everything feel, it just makes me feel like this is the thing for me. So, and my Reiki, of course. So I think I'm fixating on the name. So how could I link, because people know me as Kathy M, could I somehow incorporate that name with Kathy M, the gentle coach, or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you, is your question more as in how you would, like how it would display on Instagram, or in general, if it would make sense to?
Instagram, for
Yeah.
Instagram.
Okay, what I would recommend you, let me open Instagram here once again. What I would recommend you is the following, if I understood your question correctly. So if you have your Instagram account
Yes.
profile, better,
Yeah.
you have the URL, that's the Instagram handle, right? And
Yeah.
then you have the option here for a title, for a name.
Okay,
So-
which I did, yeah,
Yeah, so if I were you, I would have you could have your business name here,
yes,
and then type here your name, and Gentle Trauma. The thing is, it's a bit limited character-wise, so you would have to see how exactly you're gonna name it. But I like it. So my business name is my personal name, so that's why I have it here too. But here could be your business name, and here could be your name, and maybe GTR.
okay, because I have my name and then I have all of that. So I have Kathy M8888 and then underneath what I do. I changed it after I became certified. So it became, so it's my personal, but I have my, what I do. So what I'm asking, I guess, is should I just leave it and continue with that as my business page? Or should I just start an entirely different?
No, I wouldn't start new. You already have some followers there.
Right, I do, yeah.
Unless you really want to have like a private personal account that you use for family friend
Yeah,
situations.
I could do that, yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. But why? I mean, just use that as a business account if you're already. I mean, both is possible. I feel you already started. You already have some followers there, so why not just using that now for your business?
So
Yeah.
just so y'all know, me rushing into things, Janina helped me. I had four Instagram sites, and she helped me get all that worked out. But I kept my business name, Barefoot Woman Academy, as my main one. And then I got rid of all the rest.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And I think I may just open my own for my family, like that intimate, and keep this. Okay.
But you
So
can
that-
change it in that site, right? She doesn't have to recreate one, right,
No,
Janina?
no, I just add on, like I just, yeah.
Mhm. Exactly.
So
Sounds-
just talk a little bit about hashtags. Somebody asked them about them earlier. You just type it in and it tell you like trauma release. I put in PST. When I started, Gentle Trauma Release didn't have a lot of followers. And I put that in every single time I put in my posts, I put Gentle Trauma Release, and I'm sure other people are too. And the number for Gentle Trauma Release is getting much higher now.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna start
using, I'm
doing
using
that.
it too. Mhm. It's good. We should all. So that
Yeah.
Yeah.
that hashtag becomes big and popular.
And
Yeah.
if anybody wants some hashtags, I have like 100 or so. If you want me to share them with you, happy to share with you the ones that I use. You don't have to use them, but it might give you some ideas as to what you want to say.
Mhm. Okay. Sounds good.
Great. Okay. So we have really covered a lot.
It's wonderful.
And regarding one addition to what beautiful 2 cents from Charlene, it's really what is my goal, and if I don't know it yet, that's fine too. But maybe I already know. Like not everyone. Like for example, the coaching, the Reiki teaching, one-on-one, and a few modalities that I work with. It's my full income. It's literally what I live from. So of course, I do have to do certain things in a certain way to make sure I have income because it's my full-time job. So I might prioritize things somewhat differently than, for example, someone who says either I have another income or my partner has the main income and I do it at the side. Maybe it grows into something bigger, but maybe not. I'm testing waters. It's a very different foundation than someone like me who's like, that's my full-time job. So also wanted to emphasize that. So every situation is very different. I want you to know that there is many possibilities out there. It doesn't have to be highly complex. It doesn't have to be super expensive. to really build and expand and grow if that is what you want. If not, absolutely fine too. You don't have to do any of that if you're just for now maybe doing it for yourself because you enjoy it, or maybe in 3 years you want it to grow. Fine. But really also keeping in mind there's so many routes to take and so many different, states we're in. So we should never compare, or she's doing this and I'm not, oh my gosh, no. Just keep asking yourself, what does feel good? What do I feel excited about? Do I want that? Do I need that? And then just know there is ways. You can do all that if you want, but if you don't, absolutely don't have to. Yeah, Donna.
I'm not very knowledgeable on Instagram. I don't even know if my Instagram account is public, because you mentioned that, it wasn't. And I hit public, but who knows what happened. Can you remind me, is there can you buy ads on Instagram, or is that just strictly just posting, like no ads like Facebook?
Yes, you can do. You can too.
Okay.
When I run my ads for, again, Reiki workshops, they are running on Instagram and Facebook at the same time. Yeah, you could choose only one, but I always run them on both.
But when you say that, are you using the same ad that you created for Facebook?
Yes.
And it just crosses over. You don't have to make it a different size or anything like that. It just automatically.
You have to, but Facebook guides you through that. Because
okay.
the format of an Instagram post, you can advertise on the feed, which is the square. You can advertise in a story, which is a different format again. But Facebook tells you to do that, and you can crop the image if you had to. But yeah, you should do that so that it displays properly.
Gotcha. Did you talk at all through the training about Canva? Because Canva has all the different ad sizes on Canva, and you can be on Canva and you can get pictures and everything on Canva without having to pay for a subscription.
Yes, I did briefly mention it. I think in the second workshop, if I'm not wrong, in the second training class, I briefly opened it and showed some minor things, but not really. There will be a full class on Canva for you. On the free plan, there's a pro plan, which is nice, but not necessary. So there will be a training class for you, teaching you how to make nice looking designs for Facebook, for Instagram, etc. But yeah, we haven't done that yet, but we will do that. Okay.
Oh, one more question, so we can go. Yeah. One more question. You told Donna that her account was private for Instagram. So is mine, though. So should it not be private?
No, if it's a business account, it shouldn't be private. So what?
Open another one. Yeah.
Okay, you should be able to change that though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You can change it. So what a private account basically is people have to send you photo requests, and you accept them, and then so not everyone can just follow you. But they send you a request, and then you have to accept the request, and then they become followers. For a business account, that's really an unnecessary step. We want people to just follow us, and that's it. So I would check the settings. If you have set it up in private, it should be a business account. Yeah. So you can just switch to business account in the settings.
Okay.
And yeah, I would definitely recommend not have a private business account if you use it for business.
Okay.
I took a class on Instagram, and there's all different kinds of things that you can do on Instagram to keep people involved. And I think, Janina, what you said is do what feels right for you makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. I remember first them telling me about pictures have it all be a certain way, and picking your colors and doing one thing one day and one thing another day. And I didn't. I did only interviews. I just did videos. But now I want to start adding things into that. But I think that there's so much that you can do. It's very, Instagram and TikTok are a lot of fun. Facebook ads are just, to me, were just Facebook ads. But I'm also hearing that Facebook videos are becoming really popular too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot you can do. And again, we're circling around, just ease into it. And most of all, just only do what you really, what you feel excited about and what's fun. And there is no, if it were that easy, that it's just a 10-step program, and if we do it, we're all going to be successful, I mean, then we would all just do it. I mean, there's a reason that's just not how it works. And just start with what you feel comfortable with, ease into it. If you need support, you can let me know, or there's other people out there as well. You don't have to do it by yourself. And yeah, like really grow with it if you want to, or maybe you decide, no, not for me. I don't need it. I don't want it. Perfect. You don't have to. But it's out there. You can, and it can be powerful, and it can be fun. As Taryn just said to it, really can. The past year for me was so like really changing on all levels, and the beautiful women that I connected with through Instagram. And it started with one who followed me, who got interested in what I'm doing. She has a big follower because she's a rather famous author in Germany. She writes children books. She has a huge follower. So she shared one of my posts on her story. And that for me was like, bam, people following me, asking sessions, classes. So it was one person who shared a post, and they're all, because they come through her, she resonated, or she likes what I do. The people who now follow me like it too. So it's like suddenly I have this community of beautiful women. We're all interested in the same things. And it's just, I mean, yeah. And it's not instant gratification. And that's okay. And it's normal that it's not. It's not, I make one post and then I have 5 and now immediately, it does take time for everyone. So if it takes time, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean your messaging is wrong, you're wrong. No, it's normal. Everyone, it's not an instant gratification kind of thing. Kathy, 1 year later. My video, a year and a half later, I totally forgot about it. And suddenly, I still don't understand how. It just can happen. We don't know when. So it's not, if it doesn't happen immediately, it's not because you're doing something wrong. Just keep doing it. Ask yourself, is this really what I want to say, what I want to share? And then when the time is right, it will spread. It's not supposed to happen overnight.
But I'll tell you, there are a lot of people that are looking for information on trauma, and they don't have a lot of places to go. So we're basically like this is like a new thing in these places, whichever one you pick, whether you pick Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or LinkedIn, whichever one you pick. There's not a whole lot of people out there talking about this subject and teaching about this subject. So it's a great opportunity to reach people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, ladies. Let's wrap up here. We will not be done with social media classes and training for you. So Isabella and I are putting our heads together constantly. We really want to support you as good as we can. And so if you have any specific wishes, you can let us know, either Bella or me. If you wanted one-on-one support, that's available too. But, I recommend just rewatch what we've done today. Ask yourself, what platform intuitively do I feel most interested in right now? Does it fit with the kind of audience it has? Start with one, start your posting, and as Charlene said, get your grip depending on where you are. And know if you need more support, it's available, no pressure. And we will keep growing. You keep growing, and that's, I think, most important for you to take with you.
We're growing together, right? We're growing together. We're not alone.